Google this past week issued new rules for webmasters in which they said that certain types of links were going to be penalized. And among the links that they discussed were links in press releases, links in promoted posts. Bloggers are paid for promoted posts by sponsors. And of course, it's a type of advertising, and that type of advertising is not Google advertising. And so, lo and behold, the links in those posts are now being prohibited. Advertorials or native advertising, which is, the big buzzword of the year is native advertising. It's an advertorial. They're saying they don't want those links to. They're going to penalize sites that have those links. They're going to penalize press releases that have links. That if, for example, you say the bride needs a wedding ring, and of course she'll need a wedding dress and shoes for the wedding, and each of those things is a link to a place on your site, you're penalized for that. And, I understand the concept of using link stuffing, and I certainly do not accept, link exchanges, because that's a whole industry that came up. It's a black hat industry where you have obscure links. They'll go to a post that you wrote 6 years ago and say, can we put in a link to our site? And I never understood how that exactly helps them, but they'll pay you for it. I understand that, but the question is, have they just basically pretty much destroyed many of the promotional opportunities that are available to bloggers? And and they want the PR industry to make the links in their press releases no follow links. So does this now mean that Huffington Post is now not going to link to sites that they talk about? This has been a huge bone of contention with people who are written about in mainstream media, is they didn't used to link to your site. Well, thanks a lot. If you're going to write about me and I'm going to spend hours talking to you and you're not going to link to my damn site, who needs you? So is that now going to be outlawed? I mean, what is Google doing?
Yeah, I don't think the media is going to be reporting organizations, journalistic organizations are going to be affected by this. Really, what Google's doing?
Just little guys.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is going to prohibit. It is going to keep people from earning money from paid links within blog posts. That's what it's intended to do, is crush that. And the reason why is because there's a lot of junk out there that is motivated by buying links. I get offers all the time from people. They want to buy a link on my site, and I know exactly what they're up to, and I ignore them or I delete them because it's not going to benefit me. It's going to penalize me. Google sees that and sees its manipulation, its artificial manipulation, and they'll penalize you for that. And as far as the press releases are concerned, that was a tactic that has been used for a long time. Send out a press release with a bunch of optimized links to get links back to your site. And the problem is that a lot of people do it inelegantly. They don't understand how to do it artfully, and they get some SEO advice that they read on some website or some guy told them, and they don't understand why or the how of it, and they employ it, and it turns into spam. And so, I mean, Google. I don't know. This is Google trying to get more ad dollars directly. It's Google trying to make sure that their search results are accurate enough so that they can still sell ads against their search results.
Okay. Yes, they're doing that, but sponsored posts in blogs by legitimate companies, there's really nothing wrong with that. It's a form of advertising. Advertorials are a time-tested form of advertising. Black hat search tactics should be outlawed. On the other hand, these spam blogs that steal your content and run and put someone else's name on your post and just to steal Google advertising, they don't seem to mind those very much.
Well, see what happens with the press releases. With the press releases, if you put an optimized press release up on PR Web, for example, and you have you put stuff it full of links. It gets syndicated across the web. A bunch of sites pick it up through their RSS feed. You've got a ton of sites with that duplicate content and those spammy links. And Google's, I have sympathy for that.
I have sympathy for that as well. That is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about sponsored posts on blogs and advertorial content, which is called native advertising. It's a form of advertising. So what? It's not Google advertising. And so they're trying to block it. I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly out of line with what Google has been doing in the past, though. So it is intended to shut that down. I agree with you.
Yeah, and I'm going to get my last jab in, and then because I'm the moderator, I'm going to move on to the next topic. But my last jab is that, look, a lot of people from the dawn of the web have participated in one way or another on, let's just say, less organically orchestrating how links are portrayed. And we'll wrap up tonight. Reminder, subscribe to the show. We encourage you to do that, to stay in touch with what we're doing. Go to the Google Plus page, Beyond Social Media Show page. We have other content besides what we've covered here in the show throughout the week on the Google Plus page. Comment on the YouTube page. We'd love to hear what you have to say about what we're saying and offer some topic advice. You can follow BL Ochman at whatsnextblog.com and on Twitter at whatsnext, and check Ad Age. He's a frequent contributor to Ad Age. David Erickson on Twitter as D Erickson, and the E-Strategy blog, e-strategyblog.com, and eStrategy TV, as well as Minnesota Vikings Chat. I'm Albert Maruggi from ProvidentPartners.net and Albert Maruggi on Twitter. Thanks so much for listening to the Beyond Social Media Show. Good night.
Good night.
Night.